Hello and welcome to The Last Winter Night. This is a gothic visual novel with point-and-click segments in which you play a knight haunting a suit of armor, trying to regain your memories. This is made by the same dev as It Pains Me, which I also played on the channel and liked very much, so I wanted to have a look at this one as well. This is only a demo so far, but let's see how much we can gather. Click on objects to interact with them or mouse over and press enter, okay? Oh, okay, we light the candle. Has your journey been long? Click on highlighted words. Okay. But at last, you're here, where you belong. It's good to see you again. There it is, The Last Winter Night. Okay, let's jump right in. Lost soul, wandering through mist and snow. Do you feel the touch of iron cold? Before you awoke, there was nothing. No warmth or light, no touch nor taste, no sound nor sight. No dreams, no fears, no memories. Only a dark as vast and boundless as the sunless sea. You were one soul adrift among the dead that came before you. A droplet in an ocean. But now, you're unsure when you come to consciousness, when the pieces of yourself coalesce and form you again. When darkness became dimness, when silence became the barest rustle of sound. Wind. You're here again in the world of the living, as if you never left. As if when you closed your eyes for the final time, you were only dreaming. You try to recall what a dream is, what it means to wake from sleep. When you were alive and sleep was a different being altogether from death. Feel. Moments pass. You remain still for some time, letting the sensations of the world around you flood your consciousness, grounding yourself in the flow of time itself. Time. You once felt its passage with painful clarity. The world of the living is a finite and fragile one, fleeting as frost beneath a morning sun. But now you have the luxury of waiting. Something falls gently around you. Snow. You form the word in your mind, feel its shape with your consciousness. Soft, white, cold. You shiver out of instinct. Something metallic clangs and rattles as you do. But the bite of cold never comes. Listen. The roar of the wind, the creaking of iron, the song of a place abandoned by time. If solitude had a sound, would this be its melody? Look. Finally, you decide to examine your surroundings, or rather, your encasings. You try to move your fingers and something metallic clicks in response. A steel gauntlet follows your command, clinking softly as you twist and turn. But this gauntlet and vambrace are hollow. No flesh is encased beneath them, not even bone. Yet as you bend your arm, the coater and pauldron move to your command. The rings of an iron hauberk clatter against the empty cuirass of your torso. You know that once, long before the currents of the sunless sea took all memory from you, you had flesh. You lived and breathed. Lived and breathed and fought and killed until you died yourself. See. Gingerly, you reach for your visor and crack it open, then closed, until your vision settles into focus. I was about to say, if we're going to look through the visor all the time, that's gonna be a very unique POV. But very interesting start so far, I like it. Broken mirror. What you see is yourself. Your reflection, rather, in a broken mirror in an old stone wall. An empty helm stares back at you. As you shift and turn, your cuirass and pauldrons shift along with you, clanging in the dimness. Sorry if I'm pronouncing any of these words wrong, I don't know all of them, to be honest. Lost soul is who we are. And our first choice. I'm gonna do a sneaky save. I like the design of this. Okay, did this armor belong to me? Was I a knight? Was I a knight? You concentrate, searching for any traces of the past that linger on your soul. You find nothing but flashes of sensation, flickers of emotion. You clench your gauntlets as you feel them wash over you. Fear, rage, regret. The hilt of a sword in your grip. A war cry on your lips. Hunger, cold. You have killed and you have commanded others to kill. Violence is no stranger to you. Neither is the feeling of cold steel surrounding you. But beyond these sensations, no memories come to you. Not yet. Perhaps in time, you'll know what drew your spirit not only to your armor, but to this place as well. For now, you turn to the rest of your surroundings. Objects will not yield all their secrets upon a single look. Try examining them more than once to reveal more insights. So very classic point and click. Nice. A brief summary of your discoveries can be found in the Codex. I wondered what that is about. When you have found everything you can interact with in a room, the frost around the edges of the screen will disappear. Nice. I hope you can find yourself again. Well, we'll try. What stands out to me most is the book. You pick up the book and try to read its faded words, though your hollow gauntlet struggles to turn the pages. It appears to be an epic romantic novel about a knight. Knightess, rather. Well, I suppose anything is possible in fiction. Okay, now we are a nameless knight, so I'm wondering if you choose differently, do our names, titles, whatever, does it change? I suppose anything is possible in fiction, very true. The pages are filled with lengthy paragraphs of purplish prose that spend too long describing the main character's musings, the scenery, and the main character's musings about the scenery. Why does it remind me of The Lord of the Rings? You feel safe in assuming this hefty volume did not belong to you. Really? So what if we check again? Mirabelle then looked into the shining ocean-like pools of his azure blue eyes, oh how blue they were, and blushed deeply until her fair cheeks were as red as the blooming rose she held in her palm. Quickly she pinned it to his cuirass, catching a glimpse of herself in its mirror-like surface, and blushed further. If I wasn't a spirit already, I'd die from embarrassment after reading this. You've read nothing. A frivolous novel about a female knight. Somebody must have been doing some light reading before they were interrupted here. Okay, is that all for that one? Yeah, okay. So 3 things, that makes sense. Okay, what have we here? You have awoken in a long deserted room. If you can ignore the overturned furniture, broken glass and fallen chandelier, you think it would have been a comfortable place. It's spacious, with a thick rug, wide walls, a hearth for warmth, and arched windows for light. A solar or sitting room. You briefly wonder if you would have had the luxury of spending time here as a knight. This room clearly has seen better days. Rust coats iron, while grime has settled deep into stone, wool and wood. The broken windows and overturned furniture tell you that this place wasn't merely abandoned. Who or what left it like this? How many years has this place been left like this? How long have I been dead? That's a very good question. If we only see, I assume, inside of this castle, manor, something, then what does the world even look like outside? A cold stone hearth with only ashes remaining. You try to recall memories of laughter seated before a roaring fire. Shared smiles, warm wine, words of comfort whispered. Hours nestled shoulder to shoulder, huddled against the cold. Nothing. Who would I have shared tender moments with? I don't know. As you look at the ashes left in the hearth, you spy what you at first think is a stray clump of snow, but it flutters away on a sudden gust of wind. A feather? It's gone before you can think to reach for it. A cold hearth full of ash. There's nothing to build a fire with. Thankfully, I don't need to keep this body warm. Small blessings. A painting hangs above the hearth, flaking and aged, its ornate frame tarnished with time. It depicts a woman of no less than 20 summers, dressed in a blue gown, her skin porcelain fair and hair fairer still. A raven, its feathers the same stark hue, perched on her arm. She is beautiful. Not even time can steal this fact from the canvas. Only because she is like me, lifeless and ageless. You stare at the painted face, trying to recall the person it belonged to. If she was the mistress here, I must have served her as a knight. But her name, like yours, escapes you. The barest flicker of familiarity registers as you gaze at the portrait's flaking blue eyes. Perhaps this image isn't true to life. The artist could have painted her younger or fairer than she was in reality. Those who fail to please their patrons have short careers after all. I mean, about the true to life, I wondered that about the raven, because do white ravens exist? Perhaps that's why I don't recognize her, or perhaps I cared that little for my liege. I don't really like either of these, to be honest. Cared little. I mean, if we can't really recall her, if there's not a strong reaction, then I guess we cared little. As much as you'd like to imagine you were a loyal knight, you don't know what kind of master you served. Was she worthy of pledging my life to? The canvas yields no answers. A painting of whom you presume to be the lady of the castle. For a woman to inherit, she must have had no brothers or close male relatives. None with a strong claim, anyhow. Perhaps some were unhappy about that, perhaps some tried unjustly to take advantage of her. Probably both. If she had few relatives and allies, a rival could have tried to manipulate her. Or take her place. That thought makes you feel strangely protective of the painted figure who, for all you know, could be as long dead as you are. The ruins of the room around you offer no consolation. Maybe look at the codex, how that looks. You are the ghost of a knight, it would seem. You were somebody. Wow, that's a lot. Inventory, you possess one suit of blackened steel, familiar and finely made. Okay. You remember very little about yourself. Lovely. Okay, personages, so it's just you so far. Lore. The Sunless Sea, the place where all souls go, the place you came from. The living light candles. The living light candles to guide departed spirits, but those who were wicked or burdened in life will never hope to cross its shores. Heard of that. Spirits, ghosts, souls, the departed, most find their way to the Sunless Sea, but some go astray and wander the world of the living. Armor terms. Thank you for this. Okay. Okay, I thought it would be like the chest plate. False start. Interesting. Okay. So... wait. It's not... Okay, I thought that maybe everything we just looked at would have its own segment here, but I guess not. Oh well, that's fine. Windows, can we look outside? broken windows gape like an open jaw, drawing icy breaths of wind into the white stone room. Shards of glass litter the floor like a revenant's teeth, buried under soft white mounds of snow. A winter storm gathers and grows. You'll have difficulty traversing it, should you even find a way outside. Well, there's plenty more to explore here yet, I imagine. You step towards the windows and stand for a while at the threshold. The world outside is a blur of white and dark that stretches as far as you can see. A pale moon shines in a pitch-black sky. A lonely thing, further than you could ever hope to reach. The world of the living is beautiful. It's just as empty as a sunless sea. No, it's beautiful. The softly glowing moon shines on a world silver white. The night is dark, but nothing like the void from where you came. In a lightless sea, darkness loses its meaning. Here, in contrast with light, it almost feels alive. It doesn't mean I like the dark, though. I'm glad it's a full moon tonight. That's fair. Broken, jagged windows. Shards litter the floor. Oh, no, that's the same. Oh, meaning whatever broke them came from outside these walls. You take a piece of glass or you leave the shards be. You never know when it might come in handy, so I take a piece. You take a large piece of glass and tuck it into the pouch on your belt. You're not sure how, but perhaps it'll be useful. It doesn't hurt to be prepared. Exactly. So now, it should be in our inventory. A large piece of broken glass. Why in the world did you think this would be useful? Because I've played games before? Okay, the mirror. You take another look in the mirror, trying to make out more details on your armor. It's a deep black, though the metal's luster has been lost to time. Delicate engravings cover its plates. Spiraling leaves and gilt florals trace its surface like ivy on a wall. The crest carved into the center of the cuirass resembles a bird. A crow or a raven, you think? In an intricate piece of craftsmanship, it's an intricate piece of craftsmanship, beautiful truly. But more importantly, it feels familiar. Comforting. Wearing it makes you feel less like a spirit and more like you. Whoever you were. Plate armor is already expensive, you think. Hence, only knights can afford to wear full suits into battle. Armor this ornate could only have belonged to someone of great status or renown. Could that truly be me? What sort of person was I? Or if I was so important, why wasn't my spirit laid to rest? Truly be me. Yeah, why wasn't my spirit laid to rest? Great men are given great funerals. Prayers and dirges from sunrise to sundown. Candles carved with his name. 100 flickering lights to guide a spirit across the sunless sea. Incense lit to soothe the soul. A pyre to burn away mortal regrets. Either I received not even the barest courtesy at my death, or the burden on my soul weighed so greatly no flame could hope to lift it. But I remember nothing of who I was. How am I supposed to free myself? Well, by looking around even more, I suppose. You examine your reflection again, trying to remember your features. Some more? Your armor stands at an impressive height. You were tall then, and must have been physically fit to don it. What did I look like? Was I rough and imposing? Dignified and princely? Ooh, an intimidating face suits me. I'd like to think I had a friendly face. Would it be vain to wish that I was handsome? What I look like doesn't matter. I'm dead. I'd like to think I had a friendly face. You may have been a knight, but the battlefield couldn't have been your entire life. Who were you outside your armor? Did you have kind eyes, a bright smile? Or was that only how you wanted others to see you? Was that all with a mirror? A hollow suit of blackened steel looks back at you from within the mirror's surface. Your armor was once, and still is, beautiful. Yet, though tarnished, not a scratch covers it. Like it was never worn into battle. Like it stood here, unused, never to fulfill its purpose. You know that even the most beautiful armor is built to protect. For lords and knights, conveying one's lineage is as important on the battlefield as off it. If you fought for your lady, you didn't do so in this suit. Then why was I drawn to it? Why this armor, and not one that protected me in life? Good point. I think that's all. A suit that was never worn into battle. Then why was I drawn to it? Curious. Sheaves of parchment lie scattered near an ancient wooden table. You carefully pick one up and attempt to read the faded script. My dear Marchioness, my knights and I are most eager to attend the tournament. But my condolences once again for your loss. What a great burden your father has left to a woman as young as yourself. I, of course, would be happy to offer my advice, perhaps in a private setting. The letters continue in a similar fashion, mentioning a tournament, the death of the recipient's father, and promises of courtship or counsel. The words choke with flattery and veiled condescension. Each one is addressed to a Marchioness. You assume this must be the woman in the portrait. Though her painted face is nothing but serene, you can only imagine her reading them with a sigh of exasperation. You're certainly beginning to feel that way. You set the letter aside without caring where it lands. Is that all? Oh, okay, the frost is gone. But there's more. Among one of the letters you spy what appears to be a drawing, a portrait, but the features are obscured. It bears a signature. H.R.H. His Royal Highness. This Marchioness was a noblewoman who corresponded with royalty. She must have had immense power or wealth, or both. What were they discussing? But frustratingly, you can't make out any other words. Letters addressed to a Marchioness filled with flattery, condescension, or both. They discuss a great tournament she hopes to host. Hundreds of nobles and knights would have gathered here for it. Something must have happened during the chaos. There was nothing this year, was there? How many years has this place been left like this? How long have I been dead? Yeah. Okay, then I think that's it for this room. Oh, we have 2 doors. Left, I suppose. You're not my brother. Who was that? My lady's voice. You wait, but save for the wind, the castle remains silent. If I keep searching, I should remember more. At least, you hope so. Too many choices. Let's just... Ah, this is the way back, okay. Okay, so going left again. Okay. A pair of doors stands at the end of the hall. They don't budge, even when you press the full weight of your armor against them. Locked. The thought occurs to you that, for all your steel suit weighs, you yourself are still a spirit. In the tales you've heard of restless souls, some spirits walk through the world like mist. I wonder. Try to leave your armor, or that doesn't seem like a wise idea. Honestly, it doesn't seem like a good idea. I was drawn to this armor for a reason. I don't like the idea of leaving it after all. No, best not risk it. Okay, but can we look at the scratches? These marks on the door. What in the world left them? If they're so down below here, I suppose it would be an animal? Wolves? Okay, nothing else? Nothing with the tapestries? Okay. Then we'll go right. Another suit of armor. A rusted suit of armor donning a faded blue surcoat surveys the hall. It's impressive, but dated, and doesn't hold a candle to the fine craftsmanship of your own armor. Hello? You try to call out, and immediately feel foolish. You don't have a body, so naturally you have no voice either. What are the chances there's another haunted suit of armor here after all? That would be kind of funny though. You tap the suit of armor's visor. No response. No other ghostly knights in this castle then. Still no response. Okay, these ones we can check out, okay. Proud banners adorn the walls. Each bears a raven with wings unfurled, similar to the one engraved on your armor. This is the symbol of the family I served. Yet you don't feel any sense of pride as you gaze upon them. Almost the opposite. Once proud banners displaying the Marchioness crest. The fabric is torn and covered in grime. The beautifully woven, once white birds have sunken into a sea of murky, moldy blue. A heavy feeling lingers in your cuirass as you wonder if these banners mirror the fate of the house they reflect. You can't imagine how many years these banners have hung, ripped, molding from the castle walls. Like torn skin clinging to flesh, they refuse to fall. Until the entire place crumbles as well. Okay. Glass. Broken glass and piled snow blanket the floor of this hall as well. The shards glint with splintered teeth. You remember tales you've heard before. Tales you have told, and tales you've been told. Tales of men who woke from death and grew iron skin and teeth. Iron has always been sacred to spirits, they say. I suppose it's why I was drawn to my armor and not some other object. But why was I drawn here at all? I mean, being drawn to an armor, of all things, at least makes it easy to actually walk around and interact with stuff. To think of it practically. I once heard somebody tell stories about the sunless sea, of the spirits who failed to cross its shores and wandered eternally through the lens of the living. But who? And were they ever true? You can't help but feel you have an answer now. Snow, broken glass, white as the river Asker, sharp as a revenant's teeth. You step around the broken pieces carefully, even if you don't need to. Habits from when you were alive can't easily be forgotten, it seems. That's very fair. Only the door left. Okay. It's a wooden rack for holding weapons. A pair of training staves lean against it forlornly. You sweep your gaze over the room. Not a single sword or spear lies in sight. You let your gauntlet fall to your side, where a scabbard would hang off your belt if you were carrying one. I can't deny it feels safer with a sword. You know what they say about old habits and dying. A rack folding weapons, but none lie in sight. It's strange that I haven't come across a single sword, spear, or axe yet. Not even a decorative one. Taken by thieves, most likely. Does look a little ransacked in here, doesn't it? Staring longingly at the empty weapons rack isn't going to make a sword manifest, you tell yourself. I mean, you never know. It's a storage room filled with a few empty crates and shelves. Dust covers the surface of old wood and moth-eaten fabric, thick as frost untouched by the sun. Thin, moon-white cobwebs fill every corner and crevice. Against the far wall, you see a rickety shelf laden with blankets, horseshoes, and other riding equipment. You even spy what looks like a tournament bearing a unicorn-shaped crest. Likely the personal symbol of whatever knight this loyal steed once carried. You've seen this crest before, emblazoned on a blue standard fluttering in the wind. A satchel with the same crest sits on the top shelf. Find out what it holds, or I doubt this will be worthwhile. We have nothing but time, so let's find out. Luckily for you, your armor's tall enough to reach it without straining. You wonder if your suit would hold together if you were to fall. Would you be able to put yourself together if your arms were no longer attached to you? You carefully lift the satchel, aged leather crinkling at your metallic touch. Your finger blades graze over the crest. Snow. Flower? Gingerly, you open it. Rather than the equestrian supplies you were expecting, you find an assortment of objects. A broken necklace, torn linen, and numerous letters. Personal, sentimental belongings. Why would those be just in a storage room? A simple amber pendant with a broken clasp. It could have belonged to a man or a woman, but given the fine linen it rests on, you find the latter more likely. It twinkles in the dark like a drop of stolen light. Uncut amber hangs off a plain broken cord. Beautiful, but simple. Hardly a piece worthy of a noble or anyone of rank. Still, you imagine that somebody treasured it. At least for a time. A simple pendant likely belonging to whoever owned the rest of these things. The of glass was broken, but the stone still gleams with a lonely beauty, twinkling like an eye. A torn piece of embroidered linen. The fabric is very fine. You're afraid to hold it with your gauntlet, lest the metal catch on the threads. It's patterned with flowers, leaves, and vines. Motifs common enough on clothing, but rarely on fabric this delicate. Oh, I know what this is. It's a wedding veil, or at least the remnants of one. All that's left of the sorry thing is a scrap of fabric burnt and stained at one end. The stitches are uneven and filled with gaps, too tight in some places and too loose in others. The bride who made this was not a skilled seamstress, to put it charitably. With needlework like this, it's a wonder she married at all. Wow, rude. Could I have been married, or was I ever in love? These are clearly not the same question, but still, Was I ever in love? Finding a bride would have been a necessary task for a knight like you, but perhaps you cared more for companionship than dowries or alliances. But if you were, what does it mean that you don't remember who she was? Your supposed partner for life? A torn veil, stained and burned. You recall that the veil is traditionally saved and reused as a swaddling linen. From its current state, you imagine this one was certainly used for something. Either it was burned by accident and rescued, or it was ruined on purpose. On purpose? A scrap of linen from what was once a wedding veil. Its stitches tell a story, but that story eludes you. A faded note, a scroll of handwriting barely visible on a parchment scrap. The ink looks blotted away in places. By water or by tears. You decipher it as best as you can. I told you I don't want them back. Take them or throw them away. I don't want to talk. I don't want to see you again. Not after what you've done. Well, that certainly doesn't bode well for its recipient. A note placed alongside objects that must have held deep, painful memories carefully tucked away. That means the recipient of this note couldn't bear to look at them, or the recipient of this note wanted to forget them. Is that not kind of the same? Well, if you wanted to truly forget them, I guess you would have gotten rid of them. Couldn't bear to look at them. The memories these objects held must have been too much to bear. But even ruined, broken, they had too much meaning to be carelessly thrown away. Isn't that common in heartbreak? Sometimes even pain can be a precious feeling. I don't want to talk. I don't want to see you again, not after what you've done. A note of farewell. A relationship as tattered as the linen before you. The brief words, their cadence, they're familiar, just a bit. Was the note's intended recipient you? Very curious. Okay, on to the letters. Letters stowed carefully away. Were these written by somebody you knew? You carefully fish out an envelope. To your frustration, they're too faded to read. It looks like they were damaged or the ink was of poor quality. I wish I could have gotten a name, something, anything. You shouldn't have. Think of it as an early wedding gift. Come on, try it on. I'm a lousy partner if I can't spoil you from time to time, aren't I? That's not true. You're all I could ask for. You deserve it. You deserve so much. Spring. Bright sunlight spills over a bustling town square. The market blooms with colors. Cannons fluttering in the air like butterflies, stalls strung with dried flowers, people filling the streets, tunics and skirts of woad and welt blossoming among the cobblestone. You keep your long hair covered despite the warm day. Silver strands stand out like a blot of ink on a fresh page. But she stands out anyway. Her loose waves flow down her back, burning red in the sunlight. Uncouth, you knew, for a woman your age, but you never cared what others thought of her. You admired that. You were always a little envious of it. Gingerly, she touches the drop of gold around her neck, as if it were the most precious thing in the world. But she stares upward as if the real treasure is held in her eyes. Wait. I still don't know your name. A gift for someone you once knew. Someone who was close to you, at least for a time. Someone who cared for you. Someone who betrayed you. You deserve so much. And that voice, that familiar voice of somebody who wanted to give her the world, but had only the sword on his belt and the armor on his back and little more. A knight like you. What did I do? Number of all letters too faded to read. You scrutinize them regardless, searching for whatever they might tell you. You'd notice that each page was folded carefully, almost precisely, into perfect thirds. The person who sent them had a meticulous hand, you think. Old letters faded with time. There's no use in lamenting what they might have held. Ordinary messages. Words of... oh, I'm sorry. Words of love that transcended time and the lifespan of the relationship itself. Try as you might, you can't imagine yourself penning a love letter. That was somewhat enlightening. What looks like a hatch lies on one side of the room. You try to lift it and meet resistance. Your hollow arms clang in unison with the metallic screeching of the hinges as you strain to open it. It swings open to reveal pitch blackness. I shouldn't have expected anything else, should I? Yet something in the dark pulls at your memory. Twisting corridors, tunnels melting one into the next. A pursuit. Hunters cornering prey. But was I the one chasing or being pursued? All you know is that some piece to the answers you seek lies down here. Well, then I guess we have no chance but to go down. No choice. Curiosity swallows sense as you descend into the darkness. Your sabatons clang on the steps, echoing into lightless, soulless, unending, dark. Blacker than the sunless sea. Blacker than that place where you were nothing. You clamber out of the dark and nearly tumble onto the dusty floor. I can't go further without light. I can't. This is 1,000 times worse than the fear I held when I was alive. The sun would always rise again, no matter how many nights I could not sleep. But there is no sunrise on the sunless sea. You give the hatch door a push, letting it fall closed, and shakily step away. Your answers will have to wait. Until I have light, and a way to leave a trail. If the tunnels are as twisting as I remember, I don't fancy becoming lost on there either. Okay, so we need, what, a candle and maybe something to mark our way, a piece of chalk, something like that. Maybe a young girl, but she isn't blind. Can't you see? The North needs someone like you. Who... Wait. Again, only fragments. Okay, so... guess we have to go back and check the other side of this room. You spy the remnants of a tapestry clinging to the wall. A knight on horseback charges at a giant thing tied down by chains. Balls stick out of its back. The lone rider is flanked by knights of different colors bearing shields and spears. Revenants? You said this wouldn't be a scary story. What's this? Are you afraid of a simple tale? Revenants? But they're the size of men, not whatever this is supposed to be. No, tapestries often commemorate great events. Battles, victories. Perhaps the beast here was a metaphorical one. Surely? Kind of looks like a dragon. The remains of what was once a tapestry hang on the wall like a gutted skin. It depicts knights in battle against something. The fabric is nearly torn into two. A thief would have taken the entire piece, not slashed it to pieces. Whatever the reason for doing this, it was personal. Though a weapon could have damaged it, the jagged marks almost make you imagine claws. You hope that whatever left it in this state has long since fled the castle. We did see the marks on that one door, but they were lower, so... Woven knights charge into battle against the chained beast. The colors are faded, but the lone rider appears to be wearing blue, his cape trailing valiantly behind him. The same blue that I wear. War. Okay. Only the doors. Can we get a candle in this one maybe? And here, books. Library. Or an office. It's too dark to see anything. Maybe if I could light these candles. Okay, so we have to do that one first, I suppose. Many candles. An ornate candlestick sits on the altar. The candles resting in it are carved almost as beautifully as the spiraling black iron itself. These candles would have been lit as offerings to the spirits, both to guide them to rest and to ask for guidance in return. And now it can indeed guide a spirit. Yeah. Mine, through the cellars. But I need some way to light it. Candles must have been lit here regularly, so there must still be tools in this room I could use. You take a moment to admire the fine carvings on the candles. To spend so much time carving wax, only for it to melt away. The poor soul who carved this must have cared deeply for their departed. But candles are candles, beautifully etched or not. I can take this to light my way through the cellars. But I need some way to light it. Candles, yes. That's true. I mean, sometimes you see like really pretty candles and I always feel like I wouldn't be able to use them. Which, I mean, it's the purpose. I don't know. Fine candles sit in an iron candelabra. Once long ago, somebody carved them as an offering to the dead. It feels irreverent to take this, but, well, I am among the dead and I do have need of it. Need some way to light it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, this is basically for you. It's a pewter box. Inside it you find shards of flint, striking iron and char cloth. Tools for lighting fire. Perfect. Take them, on second thought leave them. No, of course we need them. You have no excuse not to enter the cellars now. You take them. Yeah, but we'll have a look at the other stuff first as well, right? Used for lighting fire. A similar set rests safely in the satchel on your belt. Makes you feel at ease knowing you can light a flame whenever you need to. Okay, what about the rest? Candles cover the room in every size and shape you could imagine a candle taking. Some are plain, half-melted stubs clinging stubbornly to their prickets, while others are tall and carefully carved with ornaments and flowers. Almost all are engraved with a name. It's a chapel. A place where rites were given and prayers whispered, where all facets of life were celebrated. Births, funerals, weddings. I know this place. I've carved names here. Golden light softly scattered by stained glass. Warm voices, borrowed silks. Flowers. For the first time you can remember, the scent of flowers mixes with incense and melting wax. You're not sure what they're called, but they're golden, like her eyes. Gold like the thin band you carry that glints like a ring of sunlight. It slips over her finger as easily as a promise whispered. It weighs like an oath kept. Your family gains another member today, but not all are present to witness it. Your father is not here to see this joy. Your heart is so light you almost don't notice it. The warmth is gone, leaving your hollow plates colder than before. As the tender memory ebbs away, a trace of bitterness takes its place. A woman in a veil. Your wife, maybe? That vision. You tried to remember warmth. You tried to conjure the smell of incense and the glow of flickering candles again. But your steel shell remains cold. Yet, somebody significant to you once stood here. Their memory tugs at your soul. You don't know whether from gratitude, affection, or something else. You consider that you don't know how long you'll need to spend in the cellars. Will I have enough light? You stare at the scores of candles before you. Take as many candles as you can carry, take a few spares for safety, or don't take any. I think a few spares cannot hurt. It's only prudent. You select a few candles, reaching only for the nameless uncarved ones. You're not sure if it could draw your fellow spirit's ire, but decide not to take any chances. I didn't even think about that, but yeah. You step away with a fuller pouch. With a hollow body, you easily notice even the slightest shift in weight. Or is it your thoughts that weigh on you? Countless candles fill the chamber. Save for the cobwebs and dust that coat the room like winter frost, you note this place looks untouched by time. Whatever happened, whoever caused the place to be abandoned, at least they had some respect for the spirits. That's something. Okay. Moonlight filters softly through a stained glass window. You recognize the scene depicted in colored glass. A scene from the Tales of the Mist. It's the hero Tristram, lantern and sword in hand, preparing to slay the revenant that terrorized his people. But the story isn't a happy one. It's a tale of sacrifice and folly. Tristram. Why is that name familiar? Well, the tale was a popular one, and the name was common enough when I was alive. But you can't help but feel there's more to it than that. The stained glass window above you depicts a scene from an old tale. The tale of a knight who sacrificed everything in atonement for his folly. Tristram. It aptly means sorrow. Bestowed upon newborn boys in the hopes they'll lead humble lives, or on the unlucky number who survived their births while their mothers did not. That's sad. The hero Tristram, brandishing sword and lantern, forever prepares for battle with a revenant in the stained glass above you. I remember stories about wandering spirits and revenants, but I've heard no such tales of things like me. I almost wonder which I'm more like. Okay, can we light the candle now? Fine candles sit in an iron candelabra. Once long ago, somebody carved them as an offering to the dead. You strike the flint until a spark catches, then light the 3 long candles standing in the candelabra. A soft glow radiates from the tiny flames now bathed in moonlight. For a moment, they seem to glow blindingly bright. Promise me you'll take care of your sister. Promise me you'll never fight, that you'll love each other. Spare our daughter, please. I beg of you, she's done no wrong. Those voices, I don't recognize them. That must have been the past. But why did that feel less like a memory and more like a dream? You toss your helmet and gorge it as if you were shaking your head, then take the candlestick. You can sort out riddles later. Well, you can also try to do it now, but fair enough. So was the lady in the portrait our sister, if we have the same light hair, maybe? And we did have a wife, it seems, but it ended. And that's all we have for now. Is anything in the codex updated? Yes. You need to find a way into the cellars. You'll remember something if you do, but first you'll need light and a way to leave a trail in the tunnels. You found a locked door that leads further into the castle, but you don't have the key. You were somebody. You served a woman in his homogeneous. You had a partner. Why did she leave you? Why indeed? One candelabra with 3 lit candles. If you hadn't been so preoccupied with finding a light source, you would have noticed the names carved onto them. Oh. Flint, iron and sharp cloth used for lighting fire. Borrowed from the hallowed sanctum of the chapel. 3 unlit, uncarved candles. A large piece of broken glass. Wait, we still have that? What names are carved into the candles? That I want to know now. You remember very little about yourself. Lovely, your tendencies are. You're strangely idealistic for a ghost. You do realize you're dead. I mean, you can always try your best, even in death, right? Some would call you cautious if they were feeling charitable. Others would call you cowardly. You do have a heart buried somewhere beneath that steel. Well, figuratively speaking. The Marchioness, the woman you served, though you don't remember what she was like, or if her portrait even resembles her. Her. She was somebody close to you, at least for a time, but she wanted nothing to do with you after. Okay, spirits and revenants. You know what they are. Stray spirits possessing iron flesh. Fairy tales told to frighten children and grown men. Like all spirits, they're drawn to iron, but they hunger for it. Oh, what was that? Okay, let's see if we can check this out now. You carefully take your candlestick and bring it to the tall candelabra, setting each wick alight with flame. That's better. I assume these are not carved then, these are just practical. Okay. A faded map lies on the desk. It depicts 2 territories at its center, divided by a great river. Liftrazir and Ostara. Those names I recognize. Do you know? Thrasir. The kingdom of silver north and golden south. Sunsets over endless fields. Birch forests turning pale gold with autumn's chill. The white river, Askra, gleaming with ice. Pale crests of waves breaking on the boreal sea. Sky-ridge peak scraping a frost-blue horizon. A place I defended with my life. Liftrazir. Home, as far as I could call it that. Okay. Ostara. The kingdom across the river. Vengeance. Snow. Blood, smoke, screams. Beyond that, I don't remember. Ostara. Did we vanquish them, or did they vanquish us? Okay. And that's it. Oh. Behind the map, you find a note. My lady, you made the right decision. The lion's den is too dangerous for a young girl like you. You can rely on me to handle the peace talks. I'm glad you understand why sending Sir Tristan would be imprudent. A bastard has no place rubbing shoulders with the lords, no matter how decorated. I'm sure I need not remind you what they call them. The Prince Slayer's presence could only give the wrong impression at a peace summit. Nor do the blood-hungry hounds who sit with Heimdall need further encouragement. Please don't worry yourself. Ever your loyal commander, Sir D. Prince Slayer, blood-hungry hounds. Prince Slayer? Prince Slayer. A mere knight dare spill royal blood. Small wonder this Sir Tristan would be shunned, even for a veteran. It seems he was no champion of peace, but had he some reason for bloodying his hands? Tristan. You turn the name over in your mind, repeating its rhythm. Tristan. 2 syllables. A backwards heartbeat. Its cadence is familiar, engraved in your memory like the etchings on your armor. He was a knight with bloodied hands, like you. Read the note again. I'm aware of what it says. I'm aware. I don't recall anything about the Commander D who wrote this. Heimdall, on the other hand. You feel your gauntlets clench in tension. Yet no name echoes through your memory as deeply as Tristan. I feel like I'm clawing my way out of a dark well. Like I'm on the cusp of remembering something important. Okay. That is it then. An empty glass bottle. As you brush a cobweb off it with your gauntlets, a scent, a memory of a scent, wafts over you. Stale liquor, stinging bitterness, honey to mask it. You almost recoil in distaste. I take it I wasn't one for strong drink. Could I use this to hold something to leave a trail within the cellars? Take the bottle or leave it. We're taking everything we can. I could use this to hold something to leave a trail, like a powder. You take the bottle and fix it snugly into your belt. Okay. A stack of papers sits on the desk. You look through them and find names, figures, and numbers. They're fiscal documents. Little of this looks legible, though. They're stained and faded. On one of the better preserved pages is a roster of knights listed in order of rank along with their respective fiefs and incomes. This many knights? What a wealthy master we shared. If tensions with Ostara were high, however, that makes plenty sense. One knight, whose name you cannot make out, is listed at the bottom. Whoever he was, he had far lower earnings than the rest. Is my name on this ledger? Could one of the knights be me? You read off the list of legible names to yourself, but none feel like they belong to you. Sir Diethard, Sir Xavier, Sir Robin. Well, even if I could learn my name here, knowing what my fiefdom earned in a year doesn't seem like helpful information to me now. Assuming my master had even granted me one. But a name might at least spark some memories. I have absolutely no desire to dig through text documents right now. Who would be willing to? In the drawers you find more corked bottles of alcohol, dusty and undisturbed. You wonder if the Marchioness or her predecessor was fond of drink. The top right drawer is locked and will not open. Bottles of murky amber liquid fill the bottom drawers. I suppose we all have our vices. Or were you drinking to your sorrows? The topmost one is locked tight. And we can't open it. The master might have kept the key to this drawer, but I don't know where I would look for it. Key then. It's a painting of a man with white hair and beard, dressed in fine furs and jewels. There's a clear resemblance between him and the portrait of the woman in the solar. His painted eyes stare down at you in stoic contempt. You ungrateful bastard! Who gave you everything you have? Who granted you the honor and privilege of a knighthood when you should be rotting in the streets? Stale liquor, dusty cedar, parchment and ink. It's a tournament day, but you're not in the spirit for games. You'd retreated here in a foul mood, unaware that he had shirked his duties and done the same. What more do you want, boy? You know what I want, father. I remember him. This man was my father. The master of the castle was my father. Yet his daughter succeeded him, while I became nothing more than a knight. And even that was a privilege he deemed me unworthy of. What did I want from him, or what did he refuse to give me? What did I want from him? What did I want from him, and why wouldn't he give it to me? Even if it was more than what your vassal deserved, even if I was born in shame, I was still your son, wasn't I? Curiouser and curiouser. The painted figure of a man stares out from a dusty frame. The previous Marquess and master of the castle. Your father. That makes the Marchioness your sister, and you, the bastard son kept to serve the family, never to take its lofty name. Your father's words echo. You ungrateful bastard. What more do you want? You didn't have much affection for me, did you? Did I resent you for it? Did I try to be useful? Or... Shelves of books and records on what looks like a variety of subjects. You walk over and examine the spines until you spot one that bears the same emblem on your armor. A raven with wings extended like a leaf. Ancestry of the House of Winter. That must be the family name of the Marchioness. Navigating the pages isn't easy with metal fingers, but you manage, flipping through decades, if not centuries, of names, dates, and facts, until you land on the most recent entry. Year 228. On the second day of the second month, a daughter is born to Marquess Siegmund and Lady Vivian, and given the name Sieglind. 5 days later, Lady Vivian perishes. Year 246. On the 7th day of the second month, Lord Siegmund perishes after many months of illness. So she would have been 18? I mean, the Sieglind. Lady Sieglind is named his successor and bestowed the title of Marchioness. Or is it Marchioness? I'm not sure. Sieglind. Sieglind von Winter. Hello with German names. My sister. So you were 18 years old when our father crossed the sunless sea. If this Marchioness and the one in the painting are the same, then the lady I served was barely more than a child. Siegmund. Father. You flip back through earlier entries. There's no mention of a son. So I was kept around, but my mother and I weren't important enough to be included in the record, even as a footnote. As if they were ashamed I even existed. You close the book with a sinking feeling in your cuirass. You peruse the titles. Though several of the topics look interesting, you're not sure they'll help you remember anything about yourself. Yet you can imagine running your fingers along the grooves of the spines, as if you've done so many times before. I guess it's the same if we just review the records. Yeah, okay. Interestingly, both wife and husband died on the same day, years apart. I wonder if the lady of the house was anything like the master. But the words on the page offer no insight in your relationship with the people they describe. Huh. Okay. I guess that's it for this room. You have not spent years protecting the commoners from Astarian invaders. To them, you're a princess locked in a white tower. I'm well aware of my shortcomings. The only reason you stand where you are is because Sir Tristan is loyal to you, but loyalties can change. Oh boy. Okay. Did you not like my gift? It's beautiful, but... You stand in the solar, your arms folded tightly in front of you. Your eyes flit over the suit of polished steel that stands there in solemn silence. A gleaming shadow. You don't know what else to say. It is beautiful, worthy of a prince and worth a prince's ransom. But it's still only a suit of armor. To an ordinary knight, a gift like this would be the honor of a lifetime. But for a hero of the kingdom, a veteran of the Great Ice War, a man who's given and sacrificed so much, how could a single suit of armor ever be enough? I only wanted... Oh. So he was given the armor. Okay, it says we maybe need a powder, so maybe from the earth we can get it. The ash. A cold earth full of ash. Ash. Not the ideal trail marker, but I have no better options. You do your best to scoop up the ash from the hearth into the glass bottle. It slips through the cracks in your gauntlets and settles deep into the fine etchings on the lame, turning beautiful black steel grey. But you have other things to concern yourself with than being tidy. Finally, once the bottle is filled, you return it to its place on your belt. I hope this works. Not an ideal trail marker, but it will have to do. A shame no one left a pile of pebbles lying around. Does anything change if we look at the portrait again? A painting of a lady who could only be the Marchioness, your sister. As the only true-born child, everything that was your father's would have passed down to her. No matter how you felt about it. Yeah. Okay, then, we'll have to go down. I just want to check for the updates again. You were a vassal of the House of Winter. You served the Marchioness, your sister. What happened to her? You were a bastard. Your father was the Marquess. To him you were unworthy of respect or affection. Sodom. Okay. Now I have a glass bottle filled with ash. You really couldn't find anything better to use? No, we couldn't. Oh, a whole lot more here. Tristan. Sir Tristan the Prince Slayer, a veteran knight and some sort of war hero, it would seem. He served the Marchioness, he was a bastard. His name is excruciatingly familiar. So, were we Tristan or not? I guess not from that one dialogue we had. The woman you served, though you don't remember what she was like or if her portrait even resembles her. Her name was Sieglind. She inherited the title at quite a young age. She was your sister. You were likely much older than her. You were a seasoned knight, while she was hardly more than a child. She had everything you did not. She gave you a gift, a suit of steel. She expected that to suffice. Well, what did we want? But that's... A seasoned knight. So we did fight and was... It's just that this one suit of armor wasn't the one we fought in. The Marquess, the previous master of the castle. Your father and liege lord, Siegmund von Winter. Your relationship was not amicable. It seems he indulged in drink, and who knows what else. Okay, nothing new on her. The commander. The commander of the knights who served the Marchioness, a certain D. It seems like the Marchioness trusted him. Heimdall. A man described as a blood-hungry hound. His name makes your gauntlets twirl in tension. The House of Winter. When you were alive, your veins coursed with the blood of an old and powerful noble line. The symbol of that house is a raven shaped like a sycamore leaf. The knights who served its master were known as the Winter Knights. Liefrasier, the kingdom of silver and gold. Some 200 years before your birth, two kingdoms, Liv in the north and Thrasir in the south, unified against the Empire of Ostara. As far as you know, the north and south still have their own unique culture and quirks. The southerners think you don't know how to have fun up in their frigid castles, but at least your people aren't thought of as overindulgent and frivolous. At least that's how things were when you were alive. Ostara, the kingdom across the wide river Asker. Hundreds of years ago, there were an empire spanning much of the continent, Lifthrasir's territories included. With them, peace has only ever been temporary. Okay, then let's go down. Once more, you lift the hatch and stare into the open maw of the cellar staircase. The light from the candles, faintly flickering, outlines staggered steps swallowed by the darkness below. You stare into the blackness, one gauntlet gripped on your candlestick, the other reaffirming that the bottle on your belt sits snug. I don't like this, but it's now or never. And so, you descend. Step by step. Your sabatons clang. Your hauberk rattles against the shell of your cuirass. You grip your candlestick tightly, as if it's shield and weapon both. The tunnels are wider than you remember. Wider than the oppressive twisting stone you imagined. There's ample room above your helm and around you, so much that your candlelight barely reaches the walls on either side. There is no sound but the ringing of steel against steel as you step, and step onwards. The shaking of your hauberk, clink-clank, within your hollow cuirass echoes like a heartbeat. Finally, up ahead, you come across a fork in the path. Left, right, search your memories. Should we have gotten a map or something? I'm gonna search my memories, of course. What path did you take so many years ago? You were following the lantern light of somebody. Somebody you held onto tightly. Or were they holding onto you? Right. Okay, if you say so. You leave a small pile of ash to mark the turn, then continue into the dark. It's strange how familiar this feels. Not this place, but this darkness. How crushing it is. How alone. Somewhere once I was freezing. I was hurt. I was trying to build a fire, but my fingers were numb. With every shake of your metal heartbeat, you give silent thanks that you no longer feel the cold. The path continues on and on, stone after stone. Finally, after what could be minutes or hours, you spy another fork in the path. Again, let's search our memories. Hand over the girl. What did you do to father? Answer me. You can hate me all you wish. A young girl's cries. A night's resolve. Voices. One of them yours. Left. Okay, we're going left. You make another mark with the ash, and continue down your path. Voices whisper at the edges of your mind, a tangle of threads, faded, frayed. You can't make out the words, can't reach through the torn veil of your memories. Half of you wants to scream with the lungs you don't have. The other half wants to turn back and run. Steady. If being down here makes me feel this way, I must be getting closer. You can do nothing but continue, so continue you do. As you walk, the candles you carry seem to flicker, then burn brighter than before. You grip the candlestick tightly and continue on at a cautious pace. Step after step. Finally, up ahead, another turn comes into view. Another fork. And again, we're going to search our memories, because it's the only thing we can do. This time, there's nothing at all. Great, thank you. No, wait. You're not my brother. My brother is a hero. He would never hurt me or betray me like this. I'm not a hero. What have we done that our wife left us? Our sister denounces us? Father probably never loved us from the start, so that doesn't really mean much, but... Left or right? We went right first, then left, so... Right now? You leave more ash to mark your trail, then continue through the tunnels, hoping you picked correctly. You walk for what feels like hours. Your every hollow, clanging step reminds you that you are alone. You are alone. Whispers wrap around you like silk, trapping you in their threads. You are alone. You are not alone. Voices linger. Memory coalesces. Theirs, yours. They flicker and burn. They wither and choke. Ash gives way to cold and dark. The waves of the sea call. The dead do not belong. You jerk violently as hot wax drips onto your gauntlet, making you flinch, as if your skin were flesh and not steel. You fumble and nearly drop the candlestick. Steady, steady. I am far from the shores of the sea. There is no shame in fear. I was once alive. I just need to get through this. You continue on, more briskly than before, as if to make up lost time. Finally, up ahead, you see something on the ground. A glint in the dark. You doubt your own senses at first. No, something really is there. Carefully, you approach. Candlelight falls on metal caked in dust and decay. The curve of a cuirass. The threads of a molding surcoat. The white of bone. A corpse lies before you. Spirits. Well, the corpse of a knight lays against the wall, jaw locked in a soundless cry, socket staring eternally upward. He spent his last moments calling out to, cursing whatever or whoever killed him. You can tell? Why would a knight be down here? Why were you left here? Why would a knight be down here? A medallion in the shape of a raven hangs around the knight's gorget. You note how similar it looks to the one worn by the Marchioness and Marquess in their portraits. The mark of a the highest rank given to a knight. So, is this not you, maybe? Your body? Commander? Or him, okay. Well, and some keys. Keys hang off a ring on the fallen knight's belt. I'll have to take those before I leave. I'm sorry, but I need them. Take the keys and leave. Light a candle in respect. Yeah, let's light a candle. It doesn't feel right to leave him like this. You set the candles down and fish through your satchel for a spare. What name do you carve? Oh. I don't know. Commander? We only had the D, did we not? Nothing else? We could do Tristan, but I don't think that's him, is it? I don't even know if it makes a difference. Can we do just D? Does it work? No, that's not the commander's name. Okay, can we... Wait. Commander? We didn't find out the name yet. That's a problem now. So we can only do that if we know his name. It's not Tristan. D. Did we see something in the documents? We saw only, what was it, Xavier? Oh dear. No, I can't remember the other names we saw. What was it? Was there Detard? Detard, I think? I'm just gonna give it a try. I don't recall much about the commander, but he signed his note with a D. Only one name on the letter began with that letter. Okay. At least my memory isn't quite as foggy as his then. You take the piece of glass you gathered, that's what we need it for, and carve the letters into the wax with its sharp edge. Detard. As soon as you bring the flame of your burning candlestick to the unlit wick, a bright light nearly blinds you. Commander, stop. We can't start fighting amongst ourselves. You have no right to give orders to me, traitor. Siegmund, forgive me, but I must send your ungrateful child to the grave with you. That armor. You couldn't cross either. But you would bid me rest. After all I did to you. You can speak. How? Wait. The skeleton falls back lifelessly against the wall. The armored corpse before you lies still again. He's gone. You were trapped here as well. Farewell, Commander. Whatever you did to me is long in the past now. With the night spirit gone and your candlelight quickly waning, you decide the best course of action is to retreat back the way you came. You untie the keys from the commander's belt. Then you turn around, stepping cautiously back into the dark. A lone candle flickers behind you as you do. I did not expect us to actually interact with another spirit, but that was cool. In another time and place. Castle Winter, Leaf, year 308, winter. Grandmother, I brought you some warm milk. You are my heir, Tristram, not a servant. Will you wait until I cross the sunless sea before you act like it? The young man wordlessly sets down the steaming cup and retreats from the room. You almost feel a pang of remorse as you hear the door close behind him with a quiet thud. Old age is making you sentimental. The regrets you thought you tossed aside weigh like piled stones. The boy is almost 30 and on the surface an ideal successor. Level-headed, poised, a seasoned warrior, a skilled diplomat. Like you trained him to be. But his heart is fragile and weak. Just like... You sigh and turn towards the painting on the wall. Like him. His portrait has hung on that wall for decades. It was painted from your memories and descriptions. The artist spared no detail, but captured his likeness with a melancholy so true to life it stung you. Far from the heroic figure you wanted him remembered as. You dismissed that artist from your court in disgrace and hung the portrait in the privacy of your chambers, safe from the eyes of the world. And so, he has kept watch over you, decade after decade, reminding you of your failures. You find yourself speaking to the dead more than the living these days. You dream of the things you'll ask him, explain to him, beg of him, demand from him. Until we meet again, beyond the sunless sea, dear brother. The last winter night. End of demo. Yeah, this is made by a solo dev, which I find so impressive in itself already. But yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you for playing. Yeah, you can wishlist the game on Steam. You can also play the demo yourself, either on Steam or itch. I'll have the links in the description down below. But yeah, that was... That's amazing, and that's just the demo. I mean, that alone can be a game in itself. Like, the story doesn't even try to make you out to be dumb and like piece things together, like pretending like it isn't quite obvious that you're related to Sieglinde and all that. But still a lot of mystery left, and the way you explore the castle, I quite like that, like this mixture of the visual novel and point and click. Art and music, fantastic. Really gives you this atmosphere of this empty castle. And that last part there, again with the spirit, I did not expect that. I really expected it just to be us and those few flashes of memories. But yeah, that's lovely. I'm really looking forward to the full game now. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'd appreciate if you'd let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, bye bye.